Welcome, this is Gemma Rao for Stage 1 Philosophy in the Media, the Practical Exploration. My thesis topic is, how can we love animals but eat them at the same time? People consider themselves to be animal lovers, but every night they sit down to a delicious dinner of roast lamb or chicken alfredo or pork crackling. They love animals, yet they always seem to have dead ones coated in gravy on their plate. This begs the question, do they really love animals? Or do they only love the cute little kittens and rabbits that cannot be associated with the carcass frying in their pan? Many excuses are given to defend the unjustified harm humans place upon animals. Peter Singer has been dubbed the most influential modern philosopher, particularly for his work on animal rights and liberation. His ideas of moral animal treatment fall into utilitarianism and speciesism, the concept of the greatest good for the greatest number being the only measure of ethical behaviour, and the latter equalizing the interests of all sentient beings. He dissects the idea of human supremacy, non-human oblivion, and society norms to promote the adoption of veganism and moral behaviour. Saying that animals don't know what is coming is just a personal justification of wrongdoings to feel better about oneself. I am not a chicken, and I assume that you, the listener, also aren't a chicken. Therefore, neither of us can possibly know the thought process of a chicken. Even if they cannot have complex emotions, all animals are born with the instinct to seek food and water, protect themselves, and procreate. The inability for them to fulfill these instincts will evoke stress and anxiety, as demonstrated in many studies of animal emotion. A change of setting, atmosphere, tone, and mood will all cause an animal to suffer. Therefore, the depth of animal emotion cannot be used as an excuse when evaluating if animals are aware of their future death, as any inflicted form of suffering is morally wrong despite the magnitude of the pain. Carnivores have preferences of meat based purely on their culture, with no reason as to why one animal deserves to die more than another. The mere thought of eating dog will make most people gasp, but it is common in China. Similarly, Indians worship the animal that is most often found between two burger buns in Australia. Over time, different humans have chosen which animals they believe to be worthy in society. For Australians, cats and dogs make great pets. All other animals are just tasty. Daisy, the old farm dog, has just died. She should be buried and mourned. A pig has just been shot on a farm and cut into strips of bacon. He should be eaten. No matter the animal, the harm we are placing on them, quote, should be enough to make it wrong given that we are doing this just because we like a certain kind of food, end quote. Peter Singer, 2010. Humans' dietary choices are based on their oblivion, with no real reason to suggest why one being is more worthy of life than another. The fact that humans have been consuming animals for hundreds of years provides no logical reason for it to keep happening in the present day. People use past choices to justify their current behaviour. Our earliest ancestors hunted animals to eat and used their fur for warmth, but that was a necessity for them. Without doing so, they wouldn't have survived. In the modern day, there is an abundance of easily accessible food to eat that is not another being's flesh. The fact is, humans no longer need meat to survive. If an unnecessary practice, such as killing animals for meat, causes harm, then that practice is morally wrong. In 2020, humans need not kill animals, so they are continuously ending lives for their own unjustified benefit. On the contrary, as much as every being's interest should be recognized, it is unrealistic to save and protect every life in order to be morally right. Cats and ants both reserve the right to live, but it is tragic to kill one and unnoticed to squash the other. There must, at some point, be a line drawn. It is impossible for a person to live their life without harming someone else. As Henry Saltz said, quote, we would much rather be inconsistently humane than consistently cruel, end quote. Some people think the suffering of animals could be extended to keeping them as pets, which can sometimes be considered a form of enslavement. However, as many animals have been domesticated over hundreds of years, it is now in the best interest of their well-being to live with the human. A utilitarian approach to the Poe's argument shows caring for them provides a positive outcome for the largest number of beings. Some unavoidable harm is morally okay, but it cannot be used as an excuse for the serious, avoidable suffering placed upon most animals. It's unfortunately normal to, quote, give less weight to the interests of beings who are not members of our species, end quote, which subject many animals to cruel deaths, Peter Singer, 2010. Just as it is morally wrong to kill a person, it is morally wrong to kill an animal when their death will not contribute to a greater good. All animals are sentient beings that reserve the right to live. Peter Singer's theories of utilitarianism prove that there is no way to justify loving animals but eating them at the same time.